Welcome to Challenge the Road. I thought I'd do a different format. This is the first real video in the clubhouse, actually sitting down with a screen. So yeah, give it a thumbs up if you like this format. I've spent quite a bit of time trying to adjust everything to work, but I'm going to start with this sort of modern classics. Now, yesterday I went out to look at a Porsche GT3 and come back with a Clio, and I'll actually show you the car here. So I got a call from VVS, went over and saw Harrison, walked in the car park, and there was a black gold Renault Clio V6. Now, in my era, I absolutely loved this car. And I saw it and I thought, I'm going to buy that car. So I went in and said, is it for sale? Is the owner here? They said yes. And I thought, well, we're going to do a deal. And then he said it was on Auto Trader, and I thought, right, we'll have a quick look at the car, and we might as well have a look together. But I'm going to do a full video on it because it's one of those cars that you think shouldn't probably, work, because it's a 3-litre V6. I remember everything about it. Rear-wheel drive, 255 horsepower. I've looked at lots of them to buy in the past, and these were down at like 15,000. They're obviously a lot more now. I wanted one to drive, actually. We've got a lot of cars in the collection which are, here because they're an appreciating asset. Some people like that, some people don't. They say, garage queens or whatever. Well, tough. I've got some that I drive and some are appreciating assets. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pick cars at the bottom of the curve. It wasn't planned. I thought they have gone up quite a lot. I'm not sure how much further they can go. I know that some have gone over 100,000. We'll look at this original ad on the car. So it's 55,000 on Auto Trader, 34,000 miles, rare black gold, and the fleck in this paint is so nice. I'm actually going to send it down to Lewis at Elite Solutions just to go through PPF in the car, but we'll have a look at the ad as well. Owned the vehicle for 4 years. The car was in storage when I purchased it and had been for around 10 years. Now, he had loads of documentation with this car, even the original book, the original invoice for the car, which I love. A lot of the cars here have got a lot of detail on them, and I like that. It received a £7,000 service and overhaul. I had a look at that bill as well, which is great, but they kept all the car original. And this is where it gets tricky for people buying classic cars, or modern classics as this one would be. A lot of them have been uprated, suspension and that over time, bits changed, but this is an original car. That's why I really liked it. As it says on the advert, car is totally stock, never been fiddled with, original elf sticker on the rear window. It was interesting because on the windscreen, I don't know if it had come up on here, but the windscreen has like a funny tint to it. It's quite interesting, and I thought it wasn't original, but then I looked and it is original. But they're just little things. I've done a HPI check. Obviously, I bought it through VVS as well with Harrison, so I'm very happy with that. I don't know if these cars are going to go up from here. But if you go originally back to what I said that people are going to go on tracks and they're going to have cars to go to Cars and Coffee events. And that's my plan. I would take this to Cars and Coffee's events because I believe this gets more looks than a Ferrari. 100%. 100%. If you take this to Cars and Coffee, everyone would be like, wow. Now, there's only 74 black and gold Clio V6s. 73 actually, because Smee has sprayed his yellow. The liquid sort of yellow is the most limited edition one. I sat in the car and thought, wow, I really like the driving position. Steering wheel slightly a bit like a 355, but the gear change felt good, and it just felt, it felt nice just getting in an easy car, just straight in, easy. I'm looking forward to the first drive. So we have to look at values, and we can see up here there's a very low mileage one up here, 9,500 miles. We bring it up. Here's the car, looks stunning. The thing is, 9,500 miles. So you sort of think, well, if you go over 10,000, you devalue the car a bit. Then do you use it? Probably not, because it's so immaculate. But again, this has got a tuned suspension. It says it's got original parts with the car, but I wanted one I could drive, and I'm quite happy in that ballpark figure with the price. The other thing you've got to remember, and we spoke about this before, was what is the next cars that are going to go up in value? We said it has to be very limited like this. It's a very limited car, 1300 phase 2s. It's not very many. Did America have the car? I don't think so. I was actually looking into that detail today because it's 20 years old, this car, today. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Clio V6. This black one, 20 years old today, and another 5 years it's available for America. Now, we spoke about what's the next car. Now, I'm quite happy to sit on a car like this, use it for cars and coffee, and then see what happens. But I can see them going up, but only a little bit. We know that some cars have sold for over £100,000. I think 110 is the highest. And it does seem crazy when you start talking about a Clio at them levels. There's one here, 45,000. This is a 73,000 mile car. I think blue, and when I do a proper video, we know how many are in blue. Actually, it's like a model car. But the blue was, I think, the second most used colour. I think the silver's probably number one. And I really, really like the blue. As you know, I've got a lot of cars in blue. But I think the black is the one. I really do. So I'm really pleased with that choice. But what I thought I'd do, I put it out to you guys because the last video I done, most of the comments were, Richard, what do you think about a Superleggera, Gallardo? And I'm in the same boat. I am looking around this market. I'm actually looking a lot at R8s. We'll actually go on there because they really picked up. And I really want to do a CTR R8. And probably I should have done it in front of the Vantage, but I didn't. They were picking up a bit in value, but they are dropping off now. And I think they look a lot of car. We'll try and find one here. Really want a manual one. Let's have a look at this one here. Silver, 31,000. You probably buy this car now. But look at that for £30,000. That is awesome. It's just a mega car. If it's manual, then we should really buy it. But it is manual as well. Look at that. I think these are undervalued, way undervalued. I've driven them. It's fantastic. You know, 4.2 V8. I've got a feeling in the market that with what's happening in EVs, and I'll talk about EVs later on in the video, but I've got a feeling we're going to be going back to these. And for £31,500, I think these are just an absolute bargain. And I keep looking at them thinking, surely everyone's going to keep buying them up and there won't be many there. But there is quite a few there. So that's another car I'm looking at. Again, put in the comments, put some more cars that you want me to have a look at. I do like the Renaults at the moment. You know from previous videos I like the Macan. I've also been looking at the GR Yaris, so we'll have a look at that as well while we're on here. Let's have a look at the Yaris because, I don't know, it's just a fun car and prices are coming down, but it wasn't that expensive in the first place. But the new car is a lot more, so it's holding the values of the older car. And I look at them and I think, what's this, 21, 25, 27,000 mile car here. I think these are just great fun. Not electric, you can drive around in them. And really, I don't think you're going to lose, you're not going to lose lots of money, and you've got a four-wheel drive car. So it's interesting times because, you know, we were going to be forced into EVs, but I do love these modern classics, and I still think there's a long way to go with some of them. Right, so let's have a look. So we've got GT4 RS. We'll start with non-YSAC cars. So non-YSAC cars are now, looking at this, 129 seems to be the number. So this looks like a YSAC car actually. I do like the blue wheels on the cars. That's quite interesting. So really that must be under list. I know this is a YSAC car. It says, this is a Porsche car, Okay, quite a few miles, 8,000 odd miles. Really nice spec. I like GT Silver with the gold. So are these going to be right down in 100k? Oh God, it's difficult, isn't it? Because the GT4 has really dropped down, but I think they're getting near a low now. Let's just go GT4, because so Cayman and then go GT4. So there's 34 GT4 RSs, but GT4, I really like this 718 Cayman. And these always used to hold their money really strong, but they have dropped off. We've sought this low to high, 66,000. That is a lot of car, 66 again. So these are 20,000 miles, but I don't see these as appreciating assets anyway. I think they're cars that you drive, you enjoy. Oh, that's so tempting, isn't it? Let's look at this one here, blue, gold rims, 68,000. How many miles is that? 22,000 miles. I mean, there was some there with less. Here you go, GT Silver. Doesn't look massive spec, but 68,995, and this has done 8,000 miles. Oh, they're a lot of car, aren't they? I mean, and these were, and I love the rear end of this GT4. I'm thinking I actually prefer it than the RS. The RS looks a bit busy. So, are these nearing the low? I think so. I think these have come right down and just look massive value. And GT for RS, we've got 34. We go highest, 176 now. Sort of brand new cars, really. Lowest, 129. So there's a bit of gap, isn't there, between that and the GT4. So that's quite interesting. Have they got more to go? Maybe. Maybe they got more to go. It looks a lot of car to me. Another car I've been watching, 911 Touring, 992. They've leveled off. Let's just find the Touring. That's a GT3. GT3 Touring. So 39 or 38 for sale. And we go low to high. And we got 154. So these are sort of staying around where they were, because these were this sort of price in the summer. I think what's happening with 992 is obviously it's going to .2, so there's less around, nearing end of production. I really love the look at them. I'm hearing that they need a suspension upgrade just to give it some softer springs, and it really transforms the car because they're quite firm. I really, really, really like this car. Really like this car. I've driven one. I think it's very good. But when I drove it, you see, they were way over list. This is probably, they're probably down to around list price now. There's one here. Tom Hartley Jr. Look at that spec. Blue, yellow calipers. To me, that's the ultimate spec for that car. And we're looking at 167. And mileage, 1,700 miles. That's got to be list or under. 991, interesting again. We bought the GT3 RS 991. We got it here. Do a little walk round. These have dropped off. Highest now 219, but a lot of them are around 200. I knew that when I bought mine. I thought they would drop off. The only thing I would say, I think the car looks best in black. And I'll show you that there's a couple here. Here's the green. I think the bonnet doesn't quite look right in these colours. And if I show you even the blue, a lot of them had them painted. Just looks a bit busy to me. Whereas the new 992 doesn't have the whole lot exposed. So I think Porsche have learnt from that. We'll go to 992. These are holding up again as well. As I said before, you know, some for sold for 500,000, a lot at 450, then 375. We have seen them down as low as sort of 235 on here for low spec cars. That's still about over list price, but Porsche did raise the price by £20,000 halfway along this production. So the actual retail of the price of the car went up. I think it's about £18,000. They seem to have levelled off again. Lowest is 250 here. we go to highest. The lowest cars don't seem to have ceramic brakes and stuff. You know, some say that's better on the track. Highest here, 357. We'll have a look at this car because I don't know, I haven't got it on here, but I've got my Price Watch app, and this car was originally, I think, 450 plus VAT. So it's come down a lot. So it's VAT qualifying 357. But it looks like sort of 320 for new cars. There's a 15-mile car, new car. But there's quite a few YSAC ones around now, and they're coming under the 300. There's one here, look, 2024, amazing spec car. I love the carbon roll cage on these cars, but I think these are leveling off, and I'm just in my mind thinking that are these peak car now, peak naturally aspirated 4 litre, but Porsche always do it. I think when the hybrid actually comes out, then we'll really see, because you know what Porsche like. They'll probably bring it out. It won't be hybrid. It'll be another fantastic manual car. The other one is stuff like the 992 Dakar, because they were quite high, and I wonder what they are. I haven't had a look for a little while, but okay, 176. So these were up at sort of 220s, if I remember. I do really like the look of these. I think these are still a bit high. Oh yeah, you've got new ones here, 240. Like a Rothmans coloured, but so 240 highest, lowest 176, 3,000 miles. So they don't know. I quite like the car. I think it's maybe still a little bit high, but it is a limited edition. But there's a lot of limited edition cars. The other car I like is the 991 GT3 Touring. They have come off a bit as well. I've been watching them. We'll see if we can find one here. There's not many around. So 184 Premier GT, 15,000 mile car. There are some low mileage ones that have come up over 200. They seem to have gone quite quick. Seems a lot of car to me. But if the 991s just in the normal GT3 RS are 135, then I think that's holding the 992 price. So it's quite an interesting place to be. I really like the 992 GT3 RS, as I said before. I just think it was too high. And I know it's got the big wing and everything, but for a track car, I think it would be fantastic. Let's just have a look at the, not the Cayman, the Spider. So 718 Spiders, because these were really high. I remember these, when they first come out, they were like 275. Okay, so 200 now is the highest. Then it drops to 174. Then it's still dropping down. 15. I really like this car. I think this is the better one, and I think this is the Cayman's problem there a little bit. 157, 156, 154. So what's the lowest? 143. YSAC car here, 146. I think this is the one. I think this is the one to have. Look at that. That is, and those, I didn't realise it had the vents on the arches. That looks stunning. Really, really like that car. Again, where's the low? It's got to be approaching the low now, surely, because you had these massive overs, and people have probably got too many cars now. Because if you're in the Porsche thing, you need to buy lots and lots of cars to get their premier products. Then you end up with so many cars you can't store them. Then you have to sell them off. The 4 litre Spider looks good value. The and I like that. I like the 718 look. I like the rear lights. Let's have a look at this one here. 85,000. I think that looks fantastic. Really good. Price when new. That's interesting. So at 21,000 of options. So it was 95,000 new. And what was that? 85. And that's a 2020 model. So under list. Looks fantastic in GT Silver. I think that's just a really good car. It's interesting times. I like following it. I hope you like these videos on Porsches and 4 litre. I'm really intrigued by it and where the prices go, obviously. Being in with the 991 GT3 RS. I really like that car. I like the YSACs. It's just trying to find that there's not too many made, and hopefully now, like with 992, it's going to settle. And I think the Dot 2 comes out in 2026, so it's a little way off. And also, how much faster can these 4 litres go? They won't be enjoyable on the road, I'm sure, if it can get, as quick as they are now. Even the 991, I probably need to do a video soon, like 22B v GT3 RS, because the 22B feels good everywhere on the road, whereas the GT3 RS, I just want to go on the track. So yeah, hope you enjoy these videos. Yeah, we've got more coming soon, and obviously I like this 4 litre Porsche price guide.